Namagyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupagada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakapachubhischa Kripasindu Bevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Ramachaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudidayet Nasta Preshu Badreshu Nityam Bhagavad Shevaya Bhagavad Yuttama Shloki Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. So today, Thursday, August 22nd, 2024, we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 24, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva. And today is text number 19. Maitreya Uvacha Vachetasa Pitur Bhakyam Shirasadaya Sadavaha Disham Pratichim Prayayus Tapasayadrita Chetasaha Prachetasa Patir Bhakyam. Excuse me, it's Patur. Shirasadaya Sadavaha Disham Pratichim Prayayus Tapasayadrita Chetasaha Prachetasa Pitur Bhakyam Shirasadaya Sadavaha Disham Pratichim Prayayus Tapas Yadrita Chetasaha Prachetasa Pitur Bhakyam Shirasadaya Sadavaha Disham Pratichim Prayayus Tapasyadrita Chetasaha Prachetasa Pitur Bhakyam Prachetasa Pitur Bhakyam
Sadaya Sadava
Shirasadaya Sadavaha Disham Pratichim Prayayus
Tapasya Drita Chetasa
Maitreya Uvacha Prachetasa Pitur Bhakyam Shirasadaya Sadavaha Disham Pratichim Prayayus Tapasya Drita Chetasaha. Any other customers? Maitreyo Vacha Prachetasa Pitur Bhakyam
Sirasadaya Sadava
Shirasadaya Sadavaha
Isam Pratichim Prayayus
Disham Pratichim Prayayus
Tapasi Adrita Chetasaha
Tapasya Drita Chetasaha. Very good. Good work. The synonyms, please repeat. Maitreya Uvacha. The great sage Maitreya continued to speak. Prachetasaha. All the sons of King Prachina Barhi. Pituhu. Of the father. Bhakyam. Words. Shirasa. On the head. Adaya. Accepting. Sadavaha. All pious. Disham. Direction. Pratichim. Western. Prayayuhu. Went away. Tapasi. In austerities. Adrita. Accepting seriously. Chetasaha. In the heart. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, because of their pious nature, all the sons of Prachina Barhi very seriously accepted the words of their father with heart and soul. And with these words on their heads, they went toward the west to execute their father's order. Please repeat. The great sage Maitreya continued. My dear Vidura, because of their pious nature, all the sons of Prachina Barhi very seriously accepted the words of their father with heart and soul. And with these words on their heads, they went toward the west to execute their father's order. Purport. The father's order, not plural. Purport. In this verse, sadavaha, meaning pious or well-behaved, is very important, especially at the present moment. It is derived from the word sadhu. A perfect sadhu is one who is always engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prachina Barhi's sons are described as sadhavaha because of their complete obedience to their father. The father, king, and spiritual master are supposed to be representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as such, they have to be respected as the Supreme Lord. It is the duty of the father, the spiritual master, and the king to regulate their subordinates in such a way that they ultimately become fully unalloyed devotees of the Supreme Lord. That is the duty of the superiors. And it is the duty of the subordinates to obey their orders perfectly and in a disciplined way. The word shirasa on their heads is also significant, for the Prachetas accepted the orders of their father and carried them on their heads, which means they accepted them in complete surrender. Maitreya uvacha Prachetasa Paturvakyam Shirasadhaya sadavaha Disham Pratichim Prayayush Tapasyadhrita Chetasaha. The great sage Maitreya continued, "My dear Vidura, because of their pious nature, all the sons of Prachina Barhi very seriously accepted the words of their father with heart and soul. And with these words on their heads, they went towards the west to execute their father's order." Mukham karoti vachalam hamam lagayate gidim jat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinatarinum. So obviously this expression, they took the order on their head, or they took the words of their father on their head, doesn't mean they wrote it down on a piece of paper and taped it to the top of their heads. Yes, we're carrying the order on our head. No, it is a metaphor that refers to one accepting those orders as superior to oneself. Therefore, one places them above oneself and carries them on the head, placing oneself underneath the order. So the power of the order, or the meaning of the order, is to be accepted above what one may concoct with one's fertile brain. Or generally we think of the mind as being in the head, but the mind is actually not in the head. The mind is not the head. But still, that order of the superior, the orders of the Lord, for example, they are above our mental concoction, or what we might ordinarily think of and interpret for our own purposes to enjoy this material world, generally speaking. But that order is superior to oneself. Therefore, it is metaphorically carried on the head. It is superior, it is above one, and one keeps oneself humbly submissive below the order. A very antithetical concept in modern civilization, to say the least. The culture is replete with references. Do your own thing, do what you want to do. I can't tell you who to sock it to. For example, that's one expression. Another one is Frank Sinatra, "I did it my way," for those of the previous couple of generations. You know, whatever I did, whatever mistakes I made, whatever I did in life, well, I did it the way I wanted to do it. I was myself. I accept my mind as the superior authority, and I don't follow anyone else. That is the intrinsic meaning behind such statements. And those are expressions of a lack of understanding of accepting the orders of the superior, particularly the spiritual master, and of the Lord himself, but traditionally also the parents and the king were all accepted as representatives of the Lord, because in a culture where devotional service was widely practiced, then the superiors were understood or expected to know the proper path according to the Shastra. Now, Krishna clearly explains in Bhagavad Gita that those who disregard the scriptural injunctions and act whimsically or independently, they assure themselves of an ignominious destination, as we have mentioned here many times before. Yasya prasada nagati kutopi. For those who do not get the mercy of the spiritual master, which is bringing the mercy of Krishna, yasya prasadam bhagavat prasado, without the spiritual master's mercy, which is bhagavat prasado, the mercy of Bhagavan, of the Lord, then yasya prasadam, without that mercy, nagati kutopi, one's gati, one's destination, it is not good, it is dark, it is darkness. And clearly the Vedic injunction is tamasir ma jyotir gamanya, that do not remain in the darkness, but go towards the light. And in Star Wars terms, that would be to take shelter of the, what do they call the good side of the Force? The light. Yes, there's the dark side. You know, Darth Vader is the representative of the dark side. He's evil, selfish, exploitive, manipulative, trying to gain power for his own satisfaction of his ego. That is the dark side of the Force. And the good side of the Force is, you know, the Jedi warriors who use that power of the Force for righteousness and justice. It's an analogy. It's the old good and evil story. You know, it's a cowboy movie just with spaceships and aliens instead of, you know, cowboys and Indians. But it's the same theme that we see in so much literature and in so much entertainment. There's the good and the evil. And of course, that good and that evil can be thought of as residing within us. But which part are we going to take shelter of or cultivate? So therefore, the Vedic injunction, tamasir ma, don't take shelter of the dark side of the Force. Jyotir gamanya, go to the good side, go to the light. And that light, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that jnana dipena bhashvata, jnana dipena, the torchlight of knowledge. He says that those devotees who are serving me with love, to them I turn on the light. I illuminate their hearts with the jnana dipena. Deepa means lamp. With the lamp of knowledge. You turn on the lamp and there's light, right? And it dissipates the darkness. So he's saying that I within the heart of my devotees who are sincere, then I switch on the light. I eliminate the darkness that's in the heart that we have a tendency to dwell in that darkness or take shelter of that darkness. And I turn on that jnana dipena, that torchlight of knowledge, and I illuminate the heart of the devotee. And so the devotee is able to further progress on the path of enlightenment, on the path of self-realization, the spiritual path, by the mercy of the Lord within the heart, the super soul, giving that jnana dipa. Jnana dipena bhashvata. I manifest that torchlight of knowledge, that illumination. So that is a very desirable thing. That is the key to Jyotirgamanya, to going towards the light, is to approach a spiritual master, as it's mentioned in the 4th chapter of the Gita, one who has realized the truth. Jnaninas tattva-darshinaha. Tattva-darshan, one who is a seer of the truth, and inquire from that seer of the truth submissively and render service. It's not just an intellectual exercise, but it involves the rendering of a service. And the natural tendency of the living entity is to render service. Everyone is rendering service. in one way or another, except for maybe some half-crazed hermit, living out in the desert who has nothing to do with civilization and is just taking shelter of his own insanity and mental concoction. But otherwise, everyone is rendering service in one way or another. The employee serves the boss serves the corporate headquarters. The corporate headquarters serves the shareholders. The man and the woman in the relationship, they serve each other. Although some men think, no, I am only meant to enjoy that service and take that service. He may think that, but that will not end up being the factual situation on the ground, is that he has to render service. Or mama's going to cut him off, or mama's going to make his life miserable if he doesn't serve her properly and please her. And so, driven by that affection to please, to serve his mate, a man will work very hard to maintain his family. So the propensity to serve is innate within the living entity. Just like yesterday, our electrician, J.R. Ramos, who, when we had the fire, he installed the new electrical service in the rear because the old electrical service was right at the point of the fire and was completely melted away and destroyed. And he put in a new box, and we got a new upgraded service from 100 amps to 400 amps. And it was expensive. Of course, it was paid for by the insurance, but it was quite expensive. I was shocked. Of course, I'm not one who follows the prices of electrical work and electrical equipment regularly on a daily basis. I'd be familiar with that, but when some metal box is $25,000, it's like, whoa. So he did that, he was paid. Now he's coming here with his family to Govinda's. And they like to sit behind the partitions here, right where Jesse's sitting. We have a couple of tables. And they like to take prasadam. They're coming like every night all of a sudden. They're becoming very devoted prasad addicts. And so this light was out for months. And our in-house handymen could not figure it out. But then I said, oh, it's good that you're here, JR, then you can fix the light. The implication was that he would do it as a devotional service, but it was not explicitly stated. And then he said, I'll be here tomorrow. Then he called me yesterday and said he's coming. And I said, well, I think I better clear this up here because I know how much he charges per hour. It's very expensive, right? And I greeted him in the parking lot. I said, we love it when our friends and restaurant patrons come here and voluntarily render service and give of themselves and their time to help the cause of Govinda's. And he said, that's why I'm here. So then it was clear that he understood the first time. He's in the temple room. He said, I will fix it. So, and then later he said to me, he said, I am very happy. He brought his assistant with him too, somebody who he pays on an hourly basis. He said, I am very happy to come here and donate my services. He said, anything you need, just give me a list.
Know how long that list was?
Gradually, Shanai, step by step. But he is fully prepared to render that service out of love. He did some work for us previously, but he became acquainted with the temple, and he loves the temple, and his wife loves the restaurant, and their kids and the mother-in-law, they're all coming, the whole bunch of them. And because that propensity is there within the heart of the living entity, and he has become purified by taking prasadam and by being on the Dham and getting some association with devotees, then he's perfectly happy to render some service. And that is the magic of Krishna consciousness. By association, by hearing, by chanting, by taking prasad, the propensity to render service in devotional service is awakened, despite one's, nominal religious background, which is not devotional service, or maybe tinged with devotional service, but not fully realized, not focused. But then that comes out of the heart. And that chanting of the holy name is so powerful that it awakens that propensity to render service in the heart of the living being. And then, if one is fortunate, one becomes inspired by the Lord in the heart to further advance in Krishna consciousness. And then, Tesham Satata Yuktanam, to those who, Satata Yukta, who are always engaged in serving me, Bhajatam Priti Purvakam, fully absorbed completely with Purvaka. Priti Purva means with full love. Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Krishna says, I give them Buddhi Yogam. Dadami means I give to them Buddhi Yogam, spiritual intelligence. Jainamam Upayanti Te. This word upa refers to coming closer. Upanishads. Upa Isha. So to come closer to Krishna. Yenamam, to me, Krishna says, Mam, Yenamam Upayanti Te. I give it to them so they can come closer to me. And then the next verse, he brings out the lamplight of knowledge, destroying the darkness of ignorance. So when we see that occur in the heart of someone who is not a devotee and who is not trying to become a devotee, but who just somehow gets some spontaneous inspiration from the Lord in the heart, let me give some service. Oh, I like coming here. It's so nice. My wife likes it. The family likes it. The food is so good. The people are so pure. The atmosphere is so nice. Can I help? Can I do something? Let me do something. I'm an electrician. Let me use my skill. This is the perfection of the association with devotees, is that one becomes like the electrician, plugged into the Krishna powerhouse. He is plugging the light into the electrical circuit, but he himself is plugging into the supreme powerhouse of spiritual energy, Lord Krishna himself. So it was very striking to me. I thought perhaps I was too subtle, suggesting that he can render some service, but he perfectly understood, without a doubt. It was without a doubt. So that is awe-inspiring to see any person become a devotee of Krishna or begin to render service. So this is the principle of Krishna consciousness. Throughout Bhagavad Gita, yoga is defined as devotional service, giving oneself time, energy, one's intelligence, one's money, one's words, or ultimately one's life to Krishna out of love and out of a clear understanding that what is being offered by Maya in the ordinary life just does not cut the mustard. It's not happening. It's not good enough. I'm not satisfied. It's just not giving me what I want. I want to taste some taste. But the material taste becomes hackneyed. And love, so-called love in the material world, it's not pure, it's not perfect. It's actually selfishness. couched or disguised in the language of love. Oh, I love you usually means I dig it when you satisfy my senses. That's love. Hey, as long as you're satisfying my senses one way or another, that love is cool. But as soon as you're not pleasing me properly, then forget it. Your history. I'm out of here. Or you get out of here. I'm staying here in the house. You go. Right? Does anyone have this experience? I certainly do. So it is a universal experience that everyone can understand. That the taste of happiness based on the sense gratification of thinking I'm this body and trying to enjoy this body, it's just not good enough. Why is it not good enough? Because we're spiritual beings. We're souls. And we hanker for that love, that experience, that taste on the spiritual platform, which is eternal, because we're eternal. So because we're eternal, we need that eternal contact to fully satisfy us, because that's who we really are. So here we see the Pratetas. They are described as sadhavaha. This word is also meaning well-behaved or pious, Prabhupada says in the purport, and also defined in the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam from the instructions of Lord Rishabdev, 5th canto, chapter 5, text number 2. Mahat sevam dwaram ahur vimuktas tamo dwaram joshita sangi sangam mahantas te samachita prashanta viman nirvak sudrida sadhavoye. Again, the same word, sadhava. That service, mahat sevam, to the devotees, to the great souls, dwaram ahur vimuktas. It opens the doorway to vimukta, to liberation. Dwara means door, like Dwaraka is a doorway to the spiritual world. Or there's also in India, on the bank of the Ganges in the northern section there, Haridwar. It's the gateway of God. Hari means God. Haridwar. You heard of this? There are two places, Rishikesh and Haridwar. And so they call Rishikesh, they say, yes, the place of the rishis, but actually the real name is Rishikesh, which means the master of the senses, who is God. Esha means the Lord or master of Rishika, the senses. So these two places, Rishikesh and Haridwar, are holy places that people love to go, especially Westerners and hippies and yoga babes and tight outfits and all that stuff. Wearing the latest clothes made out of hemp from Nepal and all such things. That we see the Nepali vendors at the gym show with these things, the backpacks and the purses, the funky little sweaters, all these things. But that Haridwar is the gateway. So Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimuktas, the door to liberation, is flung wide open to those who Mahat Sevam. On the other hand, the Bhagavatam tells us, in contrast, Tamo Dwaram Joshita Sangi Sangam, that those who are interested in associating with the opposite sex for sense gratification, for them, Tamo Dwaram, the path to hell is revealed and one can traverse it. So, which way do you want to go? You want to go to the Dwaram Ahur Vimuktas, the door to liberation, the door to supreme happiness and peace? Or Tamo Dwaram, the path to hell, which is a place of misery, darkness, and suffering, which is our normal existence as conditioned souls, so it's like not a big deal. What is this hell? I am already in hell. Life is hell. I think there was one philosopher said that. Life is hell. Or as the common people say, life's a bitch and then you die. Right? It's the philosophy of the common man. Well, the common man has understood that perfectly well. And then you die. I mean, what's up with that? Who wants to die? Because we're eternal souls, like, we don't want to die. We want to maintain a nice life of bliss and live forever. But those plans are interrupted by the power of the material nature, which is way more powerful than our ability to control it. So, Vimanya Vaksulina Sadhavoye, describing the character of the Mahats, the great souls, who are Sudrida, the good friend of everybody. They're peaceful, they're friendly, they're merciful, they're the best friend, and they do not engage in any abominable activity. Sadhava, specifically Prabhupada defines that in the word for word. They are well behaved and they do not engage in any abominable activity. And then Prabhupada says here, it's very important, this word, sadhava, especially at the present moment. So what is he getting at there, at the present moment? He means a couple of things. One, the present moment is this activity of the prachetas. That's a present moment. But he's speaking about in history, in the world, at the present moment, what's going on now. It is important to understand that we have to become sadhus, pious, gentle, well-behaved, especially at the present moment. And then he says, the perfect sadhu is one who is always engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's all one has to do to become a sadhu, is to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. And then everything will come out very nice. Everything will be arranged. Everything will be rectified. Yasastir Bhagavati Bhakti Akinchana. Yasastir Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana. Savairaganas Tata Samasate Suraha. All the gunas of the devas, the demigods who have the good qualities of knowledge and religion and good behavior, Savaira Gunas, all those good qualities become manifest in the person of one who is practicing bhakti, Bhagavad Bhakti, devotional service to the Supreme Lord. You don't have to make a separate endeavor. You don't have to go to, Sri Devi's finishing school of proper behavior and good qualities. No, they will arise within you automatically. But taking instruction from devotees is also required. One has to hear and learn by following the example of the great souls, following in the footsteps. Mahajano yena gata sapanta. One has to follow in the footsteps of the great authorities. That's a very nice verse, one of the most important verses from the Mahabharata. Tarko patishto shutayo vibina nashavashir yasha natam nabinam dharmasya tadvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yena gata sapanta. That simply by making different arguments and speculating, one cannot properly understand the truth. That is we could say, the Western civilization method of trying to advance oneself, is by speculating, philosophical speculation or mental speculation, trying to clamber one's way up the ladder of knowledge to arrive at the truth. But you cannot arrive at the truth that way. Nashavrashir yasha matam nabinam. And similarly, if you want to become a great muni or thinker or rishi, then you have to have your own philosophy. And what people, well, my philosophy, you hear people talking, the guy Friday night riding around the car, smoking pot with his buddy. Well, man, my philosophy is that, dude, you just do your own thing, man. And then like good stuff just happens, man. Yeah. That's not your own philosophy. That's just foolishness. That's just bewildered nonsense. I know, I used to do that. And I used to hang out with my friends, and that's what we did. And everybody like, well, you know what I think, man? Pass the bong, and I'll tell you, man, the real truth is that you just gotta be cool. That's what it's all about. And so I used to think that, I just want to be cool. Yeah, what does that mean to be cool? And then I found out that everything that I was doing was actually uncool. And it wasn't leading me to coolness. And I thought, well, that's not cool. It's not working. I'm not becoming cool. I'm just like in anxiety and bewildered. I don't know anything. I'm just slapped around by the modes of nature, particularly the mode of ignorance. It's just not working. Got to be something better. Sure enough, here, take this prashadam. Read this book. Oh, now this is what's really cool. What's eternal, what's enlightening, what's spiritual, what's transcendental to the dog-eat-dog mundane existence. That is really cool. Let me find out more about that. So that is the good fortune that the Krishna conscious movement benedicts people, even ordinary slobs and fools and rascals, benedicts them and turns them into sadhus, pious and well-behaved individuals who make Krishna the goal of their life. Because Krishna says that Mamekam Sharanam Braja, that you just Mamekam, only to me surrender, not to any concocted idea or even some pious, so-called pious religious thing. No, forget that. Sarvadharma Parichaja, forget all that. Mamekam Sharanam Braja. You just come and surrender to me, and then I'll take care of all the other stuff. Aham tvang sarva papebhyo. You got a lot of stuff. You've done a lot of stuff in all these billions of lifetimes. And a lot of it's not good, and there's a lot of reactions coming from that. So aham tvang sarva papebhyo. I, aham tvang sarva papebhyo. All your sinful reactions, all your papa, I will take it. In Spanish, they say if a dude is handsome, they call him papi. Hey, papi, right? Well, papi means in Sanskrit one who's sinful. Hey, papi, you may look good, but you're a sinful wretch. You don't even know it. So we don't want to become papi. Well, we would, like the prachetas here doing, we can become tapi, one who's austere. So all that stock of sinful reaction that's like just covering us over and buffeting us about life after life. Ahang tvang sarva papebhyo. Because she says, man, I'll take it away. I'll get rid of it. Moksha ishami masujaha. Don't even worry about it, he says. Don't even worry. Don't even think about it. Just forget it. Just surrender to me. What a proposition. That's the proposition of the Supreme Lord, who says, I'll take care of you. I'll step in. I'll make everything right. Just like a very, very rich man would say to his long-lost son who's been wandering about from place to place, forgetting about his father's wealth and the comfort of home and trying to go off independently and enjoy. No, you come home, give your own place, servants, money. I'll take care of everything for you. We'll fix you up. We'll get you married. We'll hook you up. He's part of the family business. The rich father, he's got it. He's got all the resources. And he loves his son. Come back to me. If you just come back to me, I'll do anything for you. I'll do everything. So that is an analogy to what Krishna is saying. Moksha ishami mahashuchaha. Now get rid of all that stuff. Moksha, you become liberated. All your sins, mahashuchaha. Don't even worry about it. I got you covered. I'll take care of it. And when the Lord himself makes such a promise, yeah, okay. He's got the potency to do it because, after all, that's the meaning of God. He can do whatever he wants. He's the master of all energies. Oh, those energies are your sinful reaction? Wiped off the books. Because he can do it. And he's promising, he's offering. Go ahead. Just surrender to me. I'll take care of all that. I got you. I'm the supremely powerful Lord. That's all within my ability. I didn't have to think about doing that. I just like give a little wink, give a little nod with the energy. You know, yes, sir. He goes away. He backs off. Well, let's see. I have something else here I want to talk about. Oh, yeah, that the word sadhava. There's another verse in the Lord Kapila section that Titikshava Kurunika Sudhida Sarvadehinam Ajata Satyavan Shakta Sadhavak Sadhubhushana. Sadhubhushana. Bhusha means ornament. So Titikshava Kurunika, tolerance and mercy. Sudhida Sarvadehina, the best friend to all, the best well-wisher of everyone. Ajata Shatava Santa, those who are devotees are santa, saintly. Ajata, they don't have any enemy. They don't make any enemies. Sadhavak Sadhubhushanam, they are decorated with all these good qualities. And so when you become Krishna consciousness, Sivarganais, you become Sadhubhushanam. You become decorated, Bhushanam, like wearing jewelry and ornaments and perfumes and nice clothes. You become Sadhubhushanam, you become decorated with all those good qualities of the sadhu. Let's see. Yeah, there's more we could talk about in this verse. There's a lot here. I think I covered most of it, so we'll ask for any questions or comments.
So, just one comment and then the question. The comment is that in that Tatikshava Karunika verse, Prabhupada defines the sadhava as follows the scriptures, abides in the scriptures. My question is we're hearing that the Father is the representative of God and the prachetas are being greatly celebrated for following the order of their father, whereas on the other hand, we see that the Kumaras disobeyed the order of Lord Brahma and are also celebrated as saintly. Can you elaborate?
There's a contradiction. You found it. It's all bogus. We've been lying all along. No. For every example, there's a counterexample. They didn't follow the order of their father, Lord Brahma, to get married and propagate, and that was his business at the dawn of creation, was to populate the universe. And he's got these 4 boys. All right, these are good guys. These are going to make great grihastas and have great progeny. And they said, we're not interested. We don't want to become entangled. So they went against the order of their father. We're going to see more of that coming up in this example of these sons and the instruction and association of Narada Muni, where they give up the order of the father for something higher. So the order of the father, I want you guys to get married. Okay, we'll go do austerities under the ocean for 10,000 years. But then they're like, after we did all these austerities and everything, now we're self-realized. We don't want to get in trouble with, get entangled in Maya. So kindly excuse us. We're going to go back to Godhead by performing devotional service. And the Father becomes very angry. This will come up later with the Haryashvas and these other sons of Daksha. So, time, place, and circumstance. But certainly the highest duty is not just to be a religious household. The highest duty is to become fully Krishna conscious, which can be done either in the context of a householder or the context of renunciant. And not everyone does the exact same thing at the exact same time. Otherwise, there would only be one piece of artwork and everyone would have a copy in the world. And that would be it, just one piece of art, one image. And everyone would have a copy. No, there's variety, there's individuality, there's expression, there's different paths to follow according to one's inclination, one's guna and karma. So it's not like just rubber stamping sadhus. Okay, that one. Next one. Here sadhu. Here sadhu. No. There's many things that many people will do within the context of Krishna consciousness. It is based on the individual and the ability and desire to engage in a certain way and to surrender. Part of surrender, just like our electrician, J.R. Ramos, he's surrendering his talent, his training, his skill, his knowledge, his tools and his wires and stuff. He's using that to serve Krishna, albeit he may not be fully realized in that. He's doing it spontaneously. But that's the perfection of who he is and what he does in life. It's actually his perfection to do that, even for 10 minutes. Who knows? He could become like the staunch #1 porter of the temple out of the whole city of Tucson, just from doing a little service. We don't know. You can't predict the future. But we can predict the future in that anyone who engages in Krishna service can become purified, develop the good qualities, and eventually go back home, back to God. Anyone else? Everyone satisfied? Everyone agrees with this philosophy? Omar shaking his head yes. Omar's making advancements. Saying yes. All my speculation and foolishness, forget it. It's not right. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.